Hello, Flosstube. It's Jerry Caudell, the Yankee Creek Stitcher. I'm back, finally. It's been a while, but I'm back. Thank you to those of you that checked on me, but doing fabulous. Just super busy. It's finally, warmed up. My husband and I love being outside, working out in our yard. We have pretty big yard space for landscaping, so it's been cleaning up from the last fall and winter and planting some new things and cleaning up our pool. We finally got our pool open, so we're hoping to be able to swim in that this weekend. It's supposed to be between 85 and 90 today and about 90 tomorrow and Sunday, so super excited about that. I have gotten some stitching done, not as much as I would like or as much as I need to. I have a wedding gift that is due June 15th. I've got to get busy on that. I'll show you my update with that. It is Friday, May 17th, and this is Flosstube number 26. So let's just jump right into it. I hadn't finished updating you my last week of my early stitch mania. So I've got the last few days of that to show you and some whips that I went back and have worked on. Okay. Oh, and also something I've been up to. I took my spring down out of my hutch and started trying to fill it in with some summer patriotic things. I'm trying to do like sunflowers and Americana. I did make a patriotic garland for my hutch, like I had done my spring one with my red, white, and blue and yellow fabrics. So I'll insert a picture of that here. And for this one, I used a little bit longer fabric strips. I didn't count the number of strips. I would guess that's probably an 8-foot garland, and I probably used between 250 and 300 strips of fabric. And I cut these, like I said, a little bit longer. They're anywhere between 10 and 11 inches long. And then I actually stripped or ripped all my fabric and tied it on to the twine that I use in one night. Probably, I was in my studio probably 3 or 4 hours total doing that. So thrilled with it. I love it. And once I get my hutch a little bit more full of summer things, I will do a little tour of that. And I'm also going to do a video tour of my landscaping and outside of my home. I love it, and it's finally, everything's blooming and filling in and recovering from winter. So probably another week or two, I'll give it all time to, get healthy looking, and I'll take a tour to show you everything that keeps me busy. I love coming home in that sunny afternoons and just walking through the gardens, trimming and watering. I just love that. I just love doing that. And of course, hanging out by the pool. Okay, so I last showed you day 26 of what I was going to start, which I was super excited about. And it's the watercolor garden. And I did make some progress on it. I stitched on it for 4 hours. And to refresh you, I am stitching this on some 25 count even weave. This is the finished product. And I had measured this. It's 154 by 128. So it's almost square. Pretty close to being square, thank goodness, because the chart in I've got the chart orientated like this in my head lengthwise. Well, the chart, you're not going to be able to make anything out of this. The chart is actually supposed to be stitched as this is the top and the second page is the bottom. And I realized that after I'd gotten an hour or two into it, and I thought, oh my gosh. But I still should have room on the piece that I cut for it. Hopefully. But this is my progress so far. This is some grays and lime greens and some teal colors so far. It is stitching right along. I'm really enjoying it. And like I said, this is about 4 hours worth of work. So pretty. So yeah, I'm super excited about getting more of that done because the colors, these are a lot of the colors. Oh, they're in it. Love, love, love. Such beautiful spring, summer colors. So I'm really excited about making some more progress on that chart. Okay, so day 27 was the Cricut collection. A Walk in the Woods. Love this chart. I think it's going to look gorgeous in my hutch. I just love that. I'm stitching it on 36 count Legacy, and it wasn't much of a start at all. It was maybe 15 minutes. I think it was, I need to throw some stitches in this to call it a start. So yeah, I think there's 9 stitches. Yes, 9 stitches in this. But it's a beautiful chart. It must have been a busy day for me, so not a lot on that one. So yes, I'll be anxious to get back to working on that one. Okay, so day 27, or that was day 27. Day 28, this was a Saturday or a Sunday because I remember telling my husband, I'm going to try to get a finish on this one today. I'm going to stitch, and I did, but not enough. It was pretty close. This is Ink Circles Red's Treehouse. Super cute little chart. I love this. I did change up the colors. The squirrel is the same. I made a lot of changes actually. I'll show you how far I did get. I actually stitched on this for 7 hours. I made pretty good progress. Let's see. Oh, I don't have the actual house going. I think I've got a lot of the other done. You can see the leaves here those are actually 2 different floss colors. I just used the same color, just a more variegated green. I just love this. He is such a cute little squirrel. But yeah, I ended up using a variegated floss for pretty much everything. I don't think I have any. I do have a couple of DMCs, I think, for maybe the white ones. But I'm stitching this on a, what is this? Oh, a 32 count Confederate gray is what I ended up stitching it on. So this was 7 hours worth of stitching. I didn't get his main house going, so I have loved keeping track of my stitching time because, wow, I mean, that is 7 hours worth of work. And this is a pretty small chart, so I'm anxious to see, like, how long it's actually going to take me to stitch on that and finish it. Okay, so that was day 28. Day 29, When Witches Go Riding. And I remember starting this, it was Misty Purcell's birthday. She started, oh my gosh, Away We Ride, because I love that chart too. I just don't have it, but this was pretty close to it. Yeah, When Witches Go Riding. I love this chart. She has previously stitched this as well. And I plan on doing the small one as well. I did start on the big one. I am stitching this on, it's either 36 or 40 count. It's a 40 count, macchiato. And I stitched on this for just an hour. So pretty much just some straight stitching on the border. Yeah, I started on the top. The top border is where I started. But like I said, this is a 40 count macchiato. I'm using all of the called for colors. But yeah, I got the top border there and I started working on the inside. I figured if I could get the inside like the cat and the jack-o'-lantern there, and then and there's a few stars, and then I can just go in and mindlessly fill in with the orange. So I haven't even started doing the outside border yet. I just did the very top row in that frame is just straight across orange, and then I'm filling in the black pieces, and then we'll just go back in and just fill in the orange. I figure with some StitchCon retreat, and being able to just quickly start, you know, come in if I have 30 minutes here or there between, you know, doing stuff outside. If I just had some easy, just go to quickly start stitching on it items, would be fabulous and great for the summertime. So, because I'm afraid I'm not going to have a whole lot of stitching time to make a whole lot of progress on things. So, hopefully I can get that set up so I can have some easy fill-in projects. Okay, so that was day 29. Day 30 was Halloween Eve. I love this chart. It is Blackbird Designs. Beautiful chart. Love this. I love those colors. I think they're gorgeous. I'm going to use the called for colors on this. I don't have all of the colors that it calls for. Most are General Arts and a few classic color works. I do have some, but not all. So I simply just pulled out the border floss that I'm going to use, and I'm going to use Classic Colorworks Blackbird for this, and I'm stitching it on 32 count Confederate gray. And yeah, I stitched about an hour on this, so pretty much just the border. Once you got the pattern down, it was quick to go in and just do that border real quick. So that's an hour's worth of progress. I'm loving how that's coming along. It's a beautiful chart. I'm really anxious to get this one done as well. The birds and the pumpkin are just gorgeous. Okay, so day 31 was actually May 1st. And I figured since I had stitched so many charts, fall related, and that are pretty, you know, bigger charts, I had found this. It was in Just Cross Stitch magazine, October of 2015. And it's called Where There Are it's called I'm So Glad by Hands On Design. And like I said, it's October 2015 was the issue that it was in. But it's finished as, oh, you know, I don't have, yes I do. This is a finished frame piece with the two little acorns here made out of felt. I just love that and the simplicity of it, to be able to put in my hutch with some pine cones. I just love that. So I decided to stitch that to kick off, well, to end my early Stitch Mania and make it my official Stitch Mania start. So I am stitching this on, I think it's 32 count. It's probably I think it's the Artiste brand from Hobby Lobby that I had bought early on and had tea and coffee dyed. And I'm using, what floss am I using? I think it's Cinnamon Twist. Yeah, Cinnamon Twist, Weeks Dye Works Cinnamon Twist. It's a gorgeous variegated orange and brown, and I just thought it would be perfect for this chart and for this fabric. It's really unevenly dyed. So I've got I'm So Glad That I Live in so far. But it says I'm so glad that I live in a world where there are Octobers, which I am. I am so thankful. I love October. It probably is my most favorite month of the year, where it starts to cool down and the leaves are changing the colors. I just love that. So I did stitch on that for 3 hours. I stitched on it that day, and I have taken this with me since it's such an easy go-to piece to take with me for certain little, you know, if I'm going to be sitting around for an hour or so waiting on this or that, I would take it with me as a travel piece. So I worked on that 3 hours total. So, okay, so that was all of my early mania and my official mania stitching start. I really enjoyed it, and I think next year, you know, April around here is iffy whether it's nice or cool or whatever. But Jen Lee had done March Madness, where she did a new start every day in March. And that is what I will be participating in next year. It's just April starts to get busy. And like I said, you know, some of these charts I only got to spend like an hour or so on, especially towards the end of the month because it started warming up. So we are outside a lot. And I think if I do a start every day in March, I'll be able to dedicate a little bit more to each chart. So I'm really looking forward to that. So I will be doing March Madness next year. Okay, so after I got day 31 done, on March 2nd, or May 2nd, I started stitching on the wedding gift. And I had found this chart on Etsy. She likes flowers. And of course, I didn't want to show her the chart that I was actually going to do, but she had told me she likes flowers and she loves blues and turquoise colors. So I found this on Etsy, and I don't remember the designer. Easy Stitch Designs, I think is what it's called. But I love that. Of course, this is printed in black and white. And let me pull this up on my iPad and show you. It's really beautiful. I did make some changes. And let me pull up the color picture so I can show you that. Okay, so this is the color rendition of the chart. Oops, go back up here. And these are her colors, her wedding colors, and she loves that. The changes I made, I had stitched one of the leaves. I had started doing that in the dark blue that I had called for, but everything's blue, and I really want it to be, it's a beautiful chart, and I really wanted it to be a little more realistic, and so I changed all the blue leaves to a green. I picked out, I think it's called grass, no, I think it's green cabbage. Yeah. It's from Victorian Motto, green cabbage. It doesn't have a lot of variegation, but it was, you know, a subtle enough green to show you that it's, you know, leaves in there with that. It's a DMC conversion of 3364. But it's a great, just a, you know, a pale green to give it, you know, to break up all the blue in the chart. I have stitched on this quite a bit since I'm under a deadline here. Let's see. 12.5 hours. So as you can tell, that is where most of my stitching time has been devoted to in the last couple weeks. I'm doing this on a 28 count, I don't know, a 25 count or 20, because it looks a little bit thin to be a 28 count even weave. I did count it, and it counted at 25, but it's an even weave, a white even weave. And that is my progress so far. I got the Mr. and the Mrs. It is totally done. And so I started here on the top border. And that's where I changed to the green, just to give it a little more, you know, interest to your eye. It is, thankfully, stitching up relatively quickly. Thank goodness. But I love blue as well. And so I'm really enjoying the colors. It is, of course, called for DMC, and these are all the little blues. So, yeah, a good variegation of blues there. So I'm down to what, about 4 weeks. I gotta get busy. on that. And, you know, now it's not getting dark till about 9 o'clock. So, oh my gosh. Being outside all day, and then you have to clean up and then sit down to stitch. I've only had, you know, an hour or so in the evenings anymore to stitch. So, I'm going to have to make this a travel piece. The thing is, I am using this, I'm using my iPad to keep my charts, or to keep track on the charts. So, I don't have the pattern printed out yet. But I really do need to get it printed so I can make this a travel piece for me. Okay, so that was 12.5 hours of stitching. There were some other places I took, I don't remember where it was. I knew I was going to have a wait. So I grabbed back out Sammy Scarecrow. Whoops. Sammy Scarecrow. He was in Just Cross Stitch magazine October 15 as well. Super cute. I think he's so cute. I can't wait to get him stitched up because I plan on finishing him like that as well. And I am stitching him on some 32 count. I don't know what kind it is. I think it was probably like a raw. This came from Hobby Lobby, and I did keep tea and coffee diet, so it's really grungy and old looking. So I stitched on him for about an hour and 45 minutes more since I last showed him to you. So I pretty much finished his face. I did finish the first square, did his mouth and eyes and all that good stuff. And then, oh, you know what? I did not finish because there's some little back stitching for the little pieces of straw like sticking out of his hat. So I still have to go back and do that. But then I did start on his shirt, the red in his shirt. And I think I may have all the red done. I'm ready to go to the white or his blue overalls. So he is so cute. I love this. I cannot wait to get him finished because I think it's just going to be adorable. Okay, and one last chart. No, I have two more that I've worked on because it was probably on some days that I had worked on that wedding chart for several hours. I'm like, okay, I still want to stitch, but I need a break from the wedding chart. So I could never do like people are doing the monogamous mania. I could not do that. I have to change it up. So I had pulled out, and I was going to use the wheel, my Tiny Decisions app wheel, to help me decide on what whip I wanted to stitch on. But I have a big bucket of all my whips that I've been working on. And I would just flip through and like, oh yeah, well, I'll work on that one. Because I pretty much just wanted something simple and quick to pull out. So I grabbed Antique Rooster by JBW Designs. This is the picture that shows all of it. I don't know why it will not focus for me here. Anyway, I had started over here on this side here. I've stitched on this. I think when I initially stitched on it, I got maybe an hour in the first time I stitched on it. I've stitched on it about an hour and 45 minutes more. I'm doing this on 32 count Winter Brew, I believe. Yep. I was always amazed when I first started watching Flosstube and everybody, oh yeah, I think it's a 32 count and it's this whatever color. And I'm like, how do they remember all of that? And now that I'm doing it, I'm like, yeah, it's 32 count Winter Brew. I feel like a professional now. But anyway, the last time I had showed it to you, I had made it, I think maybe right to there, just that border right down to there. So I stitched the last two here. Oh, wait a minute. It's upside down. There we go. I got the V, W, and X, and a little chicken. And I think, what was that? Because some of these little figures, I'm like, what is that? I think it's just a little X. And I think I think that's just, you know, a script X. And I couldn't make it. I'm like, is this like some flower or something? But it looks like little dancing people. So I don't know if it's like, you know, a dancing couple. Like there's their heads and their arms and their legs. I don't know. I thought it was odd for that to be in there since it's, you know, rooster stuff. But whatever. I'm loving this color. It is Baaack Scarlet. Yep. The General Art Baaack Scarlet floss is what I'm using. And I'm loving the variegation. It has some dark areas in it, which I really love. So, yeah. Like that. It's a pretty quick, easy stitch for me as well. So it's also going to make a good either travel project or have some time to kill real quick and be able to pick that up and start on it relatively quickly. And my last whip that I worked on recently, or since my last Flosstube, is Henpeck. Plum Street Henpeck. Love this little chart, and it's a lot tinier than I thought it was going to be, which is fine with me. I love it. Well, and it's probably tinier because I'm doing this on, I think this is 36 count macchiato. Yeah, 36 count macchiato. So I've stitched on this 2 more hours since I last showed it to you. And I believe the last I had showed it to you, I had done this corner and maybe a little bit of this flower up here. So I've worked around the rest of the border, down the side here, did another flower and the other side flowers. I haven't finished those. It was really hard to, because I initially picked parchment to do the white, and you couldn't even see it. It was the same color as the linen. So this is the B5200, and I even tried to stitch it because I'm stitching this 1/2, which is how I love to stitch on 36 count. So I tried to do 2/2, and it was just too thick. It didn't really look well. So I went and I had to use the B5200, and it's showing up well enough. I think once I get the chicken, because one of the chicks, is it a chicken? Yeah, one of the middle chicken is white that I'll do in the B5200, so I'm hoping that will help make these pop out a little bit more. So I decided on my red, I think it called for used brick. And for my red, I went with, I believe it's Old Red paint. Yep, Old Red paint is what I'm using for my red. And the blue in the chart, the parts of the flag, and there's one flower up here that's blue. I'm using old blue jeans. I had initially started with another blue, and it was more of a teal. I don't like teal and red, so I went with this. This is more of a purpley blue. So, and then my green that I'm using down here for the grass is Christmas Tree from Color and Cotton. It's a beautiful green. Beautiful spring, summer grass green. So I'm really enjoying stitching on this one. I love stitching on 36 count. Okay, so that is all my whips. I have, after looking back on it, done quite a bit more stitching than I realized, but I haven't stitched, oh, I forgot to look in my journal. I haven't stitched anything for 3 or 4 days. It's finally gotten into the 80s. Like I said, it's supposed to be almost 90 degrees today and tomorrow, so I went and bought some plants for my containers outside and mowing grass. I love to mow the grass. My daughter and I fight over mowing grass and then weed eating, and so I am really enjoying my summer already. I do have 8 days of driving the school bus left. Yay! I'm so excited because the route I'm on is in our city. Well, it's on the outskirts of the city. But the route I'll be driving next year is a route I will be 4th generation driving this bus route. And it's the same bus number, 9C. I'm super excited. My great-grandpa initially started that bus route. And then my grandpa took over. His son took over. He ended up getting rheumatoid arthritis really bad. And he was only able to drive for about a year and a half, they think. He's no longer with us, but from people's recollection, he drove for maybe a year and a half. So then my grandma took over, and she drove it for right around 30 years. They did back in the day, they did a newspaper article on her. And then when she retired, my aunt, she took over the bus route, and that's what she's been doing, and she's been driving it for around 25 years. And so she's retiring from it. She's been doing a countdown for about 2 years because she's like over it. So she's ready to be done with it. And so it was coming up to, she's a contract bus driver. So her contract was up this year. And I was able to take that over. I'm not owning the route. I'm driving for it. I'm driving the route. So I am so super excited. I'll be the 4th generation to drive it. I think that's pretty cool. So 8 days left of that, which I can't wait. Because my current bus has about 60 kids on it. It's cram-packed. Okay, I know about that. But yeah, between, I've got to get my wedding gift stitched. And I have to decide what I'm doing for StitchCon. I want to participate in the smalls exchanges they're having at StitchCon. So I've got a couple things in mind, but I got to figure out, okay, how am I going to finish it? Because you see all the smalls that people exchange at other retreats, and it's like, oh my gosh, that's like a lot of pressure. Pretty high standards you got to stand up to. So I want to come up with something cute and some little goodies to add to it. So finish the wedding gift, get my StitchCon thing underway, and enjoy summer. We have a big in-ground pool, and I love just hanging out by with a drink in a hand on my lounge chair, soaking up some sun. So that's what I'm looking forward to. We'll be doing that a lot. And like I said, I love coming home and then just walking out in my garden and tidying up things out there for an hour or 2 each day. So I will not be doing weekly floss tubes. I will try to do bi-weekly, but honestly, with as little stitching as I probably will get done, it may just be monthly updates for the next few months. So if it's sooner, it'll be a surprise. You'll get your little notification that, hey, Yankee Creek Stitcher has posted a video. So I'm going to get this wrapped up, get it edited, and get it posted for you to enjoy. And like I said, be on the lookout. I will at least film a garden video and hopefully get my hutch filled with some cute stuff for summer. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you for stopping by and spending some time with me today. Everyone have an awesome summer, and I will hopefully see you soon.